Welcome back to our Inside Kolkata special. In the World Bank's assessment of implementation of business reforms in the various states, Bengal started with a disadvantage. Years of Naxalism in the 60s, followed by decades of unionism, supported by the state government, had already pushed down the state's GDP. In 2014, Bengal ranked 15th in per capita income and 13th in the Human Development Index. So standing 11th in the World Bank survey of ease of doing business was actually a positive surprise. Are things improving in Bengal? Let's ask Mr. Sanjeev Goenka. Mr. Goenka, thank you very much for joining us. Well, that really is the first question. The World Bank assessment placed Bengal 11th in ease of doing business. Was that a pleasant surprise for you, or was that a little bit of a shock?
It is neither, quite honestly. I mean, for people like me who operate in Bengal and operate in other states in India as well, we know that the actual ranking of Bengal should probably be slightly higher than 11. In the past, other reports and other comparative studies have been unfairly harsh to Bengal because of the perception. And this corrects it to an extent, but I would say that maybe Bengal should have been 7, 8 or 9. But having said that, Bengal is a good place to invest in. It's a good place to do business in.
Well, actually, Mr. Goenka, I was pleasantly surprised because Bengal has really fallen in the ranks in many ways. In the 50s and 60s, it was among the top 3 richest states. Now it is the 15th actually in per capita income. Are you saying that you are seeing things on the mend in your state?
Quite clearly, I think there was many years of inaction. There was 30 years of anti-industry moves, 4 years before a whole process of sort of regaining the confidence of industry, regaining the confidence of the investor began. And yes, we have regained some lost ground. We have yet to regain some more. But I think things look pretty decent and pretty good. And on the ground, reality is actually very good.
Oh, really? What exactly has changed for businesses?
Well, I think I'll give you a few examples, but the most striking one to my mind is there was something like 70 to 80 lakh man-days a year which were lost in Bengal. Last year, it was down to 0. If this does not typify the work culture, then what does? The second thing is that when you are a genuine investor, approvals come in very fast. The third thing is that I think there were some 90-odd approvals which were required, which is down to 7, and I'm told will be reduced further. Fourth is, I think, the eagerness of the entire administration to encourage investment and employment in the state. And that enthusiasm is reflected in the speed of decision making. So I think overall, if you see, it's actually been very good. We ourselves have invested significantly in Bengal over the last few years. And we've been very happy investors.
Well, in terms of capex to GDP or capex to total expenditure, are you seeing the state improving or increasing its expenditure? Is all this helping industry in any fashion?
Well, I think statistics notwithstanding, I think the West Bengal government has certainly begun to spend on infrastructure. And to begin with, you see it in even small things like roads, in traffic islands, in the lighting, in just the way the city looks, in just the way the roads are, in just the way flyovers are being constructed. So that's one aspect. But I think you will see some more investments coming. I think I've been hearing of highways, I've been hearing of IITs, I've been hearing of medical colleges, I've been hearing of management schools, I've been hearing of hospitals. So all in all, I think the attempt is to make the whole city and state more international, more livable, more friendly, easier to sort of deal with, so that people are attracted to come back, people are attracted to come and invest.
Well, certainly Calcutta looked cleaner than I had seen it before. And yes, a certain element of spanking improvement in roads was visible, but I'm hardly best placed to comment on all that. Let me come to a sector where, you specialize. Bengal has actually done better in power today compared to its own past, in the 60s and 70s when there were so many power cuts. It has also done better than many other state power distribution companies. Do you think that the political economic situation is conducive to the power sector itself in Bengal?
Well, for sure, it is one of the areas which stands out in terms of achievement. I think the Bengal government has done a lot of improvements in terms of efficiencies, in terms of generation capacity, in terms of distribution capacity, in terms of the transmission network. I think the West Bengal State Electricity Board is indeed one of the best run state-owned discoms in the country. I think, talking for ourselves and in the city of Calcutta, from 12 hours of power cuts to no power cuts, a very extreme focus on customer orientation, etc., etc. But I think the state has done very well in power. It's an area which they picked up for reform. It's an area which they picked up to showcase, and they have demonstrated that they can deliver.
Okay, that's certainly a positive, which is very visible actually. Well, finally, Mr. Goenka, what aspects need fixing if Bengal has to improve its ranking to that, 5, 6 and 7 that you desire?
I think the perception, for sure, which is beginning to get addressed to an extent, and the Chief Minister leads right from the front. And I think these things are as much about reality as about perception. So clearly the perception. And I think a lot of the building blocks are already in place over the last few months. And I am told that the ease of doing business will be further simplified by reducing the 7 pages of approvals to just 1 page or something like that. And that in itself would be a huge step forward. So I think I can see the red tape getting cut. I can see approvals coming fast. I can see land being made available for genuine investors. I can see the government coming forward and supporting. And what they've done is for every major project in the state, they have a relationship manager. So there is a senior official or a senior minister who becomes, in a way, the guardian for that one project. So he becomes like a one-window clearance. And it's fantastic. So he does all the walking down the corridors, getting the approvals, whatever. So you go to this one gentleman who is nominated by the government, and he sort of does your interfacing for everything else.
Oh, wow. A relationship manager, that's certainly a very positive practice to adopt. Mr. Goenka, thank you very much for joining us with your views. You certainly leave us feeling more optimistic as we wind down our Inside Kolkata week. Well then, key takeaways on Bengal's economy. First, Bengal appears to have deteriorated partly because of early Naxalism and then because of almost state-sponsored unionism. 2, the deteriorating trend in per capita incomes in industrialization that started in the 70s appears to have definitely been stemmed in the past 6 years or so. 3, the TMC appears to be definitely removing disincentives. As Mr. Goenka says, forms to be filled by new units are down to 7 from 90 and will probably be down to 1. Approvals are also getting faster. 4, a relationship manager for every major project is certainly a business-friendly innovation. 5, questions with respect to perception change are what are being raised. Now, they don't change very quickly. Will investments pick up? If it doesn't, will electoral politics come back? Will unionism and populism come back? That is the question which faces the state's political and economic leaders. Well, that's it on this edition of Indianomics. Thanks for watching.